This is a
Mixed
test.
Media Show.
That
I am
might
Shaq.
Episode 1.
You fucking said
be
it.
consistent. When is the test over?
Welcome to Mixed Media Show. I am Shadow. I have many names, but that is the name I am most cursed with. I'm an old school gamer. I ran through Zelda. I've run through F-Zero, even though I was driving. I played through the Metroids. I've done the Zeldas. I've loved the Donkey Kongs, the Mario when he was 2D, and then when he got all 3D and really jumpy. But most of all, I like the challenging stuff. I like the games that force you to press more buttons, not jam them, but test them. The pressure-sensitive things, the things that make you think, puzzles and all that. I like the GTAs as much as I like the Assassin's Creed, as much as I like the BioShocks, as much as I like Minecraft. But that's another story.
Yes.
So, we bring you this show today in the mixed media, and it's going to be a melting pot of a lot of thoughts and a lot of thinking, and we're going to force you to do that, and you're going to like it.
Oh, you won't like it.
Yeah.
I am saturated. I am the retro gamer, the Street Fighter player, the Smash Brother brawler. I am. I love playing fighting games. I was raised playing fighting games. I have played many fighting games, and my input here is to educate those and also give some history and my thoughts in recent games as well as old games. And was raised with two brothers in Manhattan, New York, just playing games and attending tournaments and doing our thing. And I will be here giving my input on various different topics we will cover on this show. So thank you for watching, and we'll take it from there and see where it goes. Citizen?
I am known as Citizen. When it comes to games, I enjoy action, shooters, adventure, RPGs, and MMOs. I like games that make you struggle, games that let you grow, games that can even scare the pants off of you. And above all, I value variety, which is something at least I feel we aren't getting too much of these days, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
My name is the Fat Juice. I'm mostly into fighters. Um, Street Fighter is my favorite, of course, but I'm also currently I'm playing a Zelda, the Skyward Sword. I'm into all types of games, shooters, adventure, RPGs. I also like collecting the games, as you can see behind me. Um, but I like co-op games and stuff. Growing up with two other brothers is always fun to play with other people and stuff. So, I kind of like those co-op games, like Turtles in Time or Metal Slugs or, any type of those games and stuff. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the show and let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so we're just going to give you a heads up about what we are going to do here. Because nobody here has a PhD, and nobody here is claiming that they know everything. But we must say that our point of views are our point of views because we grew up throughout the stages of the things that you people touch now. And we understand where they started and what they meant to do and where they never got to as of now. That'll be something we'll get into. But this is going to be a mix of giving you a little bit of education. Maybe it's contextual. Maybe we'll show you how to do combos. Maybe you'll learn why Mega Man looks blue. Maybe you'll learn things that you really never looked into unless you read the books for it. They don't give you booklets anymore, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So what's today's topic on our first episode?
All right. So today, the industry is robbing us. Seriously.
Really?
In your back pocket.
In broad daylight.
Yeah.
Tactics.
Nowadays you go to the game store, okay? You pick up the latest game, whatever it may be. Let's just say Call of Duty seems to be the game of
It's a
choice here.
popular one.
It's a popular one, right? So you go there, you go to the store, You pick up a copy. Might run you about $60 plus tax. You get the core game, but when you start playing and you start seeing things, they force you to pay for weapons you can only get when you pay for it, which is freaking ridiculous.
I mean, back in the day, you used to unlock stuff, like sort of like achievements in a sense. They reward you for actually playing the game, properly or skillfully, and then they'll reward you with the unlockable guns. But now it's all money. It's all money.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and it's insane that you say achievements because how many of us combined have, tens of thousands of Microsoft points? And what does that mean? It means nothing.
nothing unless
Because it's
It,
almost ironic that they have a system of achievements now, but what is an achievement? What was an achievement back then? An achievement was something unto itself. We didn't have to call it. We didn't even know that it was an achievement. We
yeah,
just knew that I beat that game in like 2 hours. Like
yeah,
that's
But
all we knew.
you can prove it. You can say, hey,
Yep.
hey, saturated, look at my achievement, list, and you can show and people can see and stuff. So I guess that's maybe a difference that, back in the
yes,
day it was just bragging rights and you just talk about it, but you can't really display it unless
Back
you
then,
play the game.
achievements
Exactly.
were like, okay, did you beat the second Zelda? I mean, the whole freaking thing,
yeah.
like front to back, because that wasn't easy. None of them were easy back then.
No.
In
Oh my
Final
god.
Fantasy VII, did you kill the weapons after the fact? Did you get the
You did.
golden chocobo, and did you get the
Yes.
hit times X Knight of the Round?
Yes,
And you
more
had to
now.
hit it and put the control down and
And
just,
just sit back and
I'm
watch.
gonna make a sandwich while you die.
Yeah,
It
And
took
mime
forever,
it.
but it was in the
it was in the game. It's you didn't have to buy Knights of the Rounds. Maybe.
The struggle.
All right, we're live.
all right, we're
So
back. And by the way, DLC just happened again, all right? Because this is freeware, and they said no longer than 5 minutes, and they cut us off.
all right. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
Please excuse us. This is our first episode, but we will be better.
We'll,
Or
we'll,
so,
we'll
Yeah.
get better. We'll get better.
because you deserve better most of the time. You buy Call of Duty. You buy Call of Duty.
I don't get it. But all right, so let's
Anyway,
here. I mean,
so let's
so the
not
point
continue.
is,
Continue.
we would we would unlock things back in the day, playing X amount of hours or doing getting three perfects in a row in Street Fighter would unlock like Evil Ryu, for example. But I just want you guys to know the difference between unlockable content and paid content because I'm just so frustrated. I don't know why companies will try to get us like I mean, yeah, I understand they want to make money, but they shouldn't charge, a total of like $100, let's say, just for argument's sake, for the core game and all its features. We're already paying $60 and they want more? I mean, am I sounding cheap here?
No, no, because why back then are there games that, and when I say back then, I mean just for example, Arcana of Time, N64. I mean, if you really went through that game,
Good
going
game.
through every side quest, getting every jar, everything, you know, I mean, how many hours was that for you guys?
Oh, I forgot. How many hours of gameplay,
I had to say what it had to have
Fat
been like
Juice? I mean, back then
'70s.
those games were long. You put your time in to
Yeah,
achieve everything, unlock all the, go through all the caves, all the dungeons,
That's a lot of
get all
hours.
the
It's
flute.
hard to,
I
yeah,
mean, it's
it's hard
gauge,
to calculate.
but definitely over 50 hours of
Yeah,
content, of
50
gameplay.
hours. But if you ran through it, okay, maybe 15. Maybe 15 to 20. 15 to 20 is what you paid for then, and it was slightly cheaper. But now we pay for games that have no campaign mode, no co-op mode,
No
one
versus mode.
and one multiplayer mode. or maybe just a versus mode, and that's it. You want to play more? Well, get the DLC so you can put on fancier things to play in the same levels with the same people.
Ugh, I just.
I mean, the problem is they had to do it back then. They didn't have a system of adding anything into the game after they released it, so they had to make it all it could possibly be. It was very competitive. I mean, it's still competitive now, but people back then weren't as willing to give up, 40 or 50 bucks. They weren't willing to do it as much as people are willing to do that now. So they had to make the game all they could make it at the time. I'm gonna get another chance for another 5 years, another 4 or 5 years. That's how long it took to make a sequel. It took at least 4 or 5 years back then. It wasn't like, oh well, we didn't get to put that in this year's game. We'll just put it in the DLC 6 months down the line, or we'll put it in the sequel 1 year down the line. Not even a year. You're already planning the
Why
sequel.
make why have DLCs now? Like, why can't they just make sequels? I mean, how many Call of Duties are out now, and they still have DLCs? Come on, man. Enough is enough, yo. And I think everyone else can agree with that.
I
Yeah,
think I think it gets to a point where you can tell that the game makers have held a lot of stuff back. Like the game
essentially,
just came out, and next week you already see advertisements for the DLC. That means they were planning that DLC long before the game was even close to completion. You can tell that they intentionally held it back. They act like DLC is this extra thing you're getting. You're not getting anything extra. What they're doing is they finished the game. They've got this game. Okay, this is a game. Okay, this is people. This is a wonderful game. We know it's going to sell. They want to play this. Let's take this out. Let's take this out. Let's take this out. Okay, now let's make those things DLC. This is what we're going to release. Because
uh,
mathematically, it just adds up to more money that way. And the thing that worries me is that they don't bother trying to hide it. It's just so obvious. Like I think when you ask the question, when is enough? When we can't tell they're doing it.
Ugh.
If I can see a level in a video game that I honestly feel like this level in this story could not have possibly existed in the game I just played. They would have had to really go back to the drawing board and reassess things in order to make what they just made. This couldn't have possibly fit in there, or at least it could have been like long enough, like several months later. Now you've got this new thing. Now you're hearing about this new thing they want to add into the game. But when you just buy a game and it's like a week later, you've already hearing about the upcoming DLC. It's like a sign that there's something going on. There's something going on there.
I mean, think about it. It works because let's say you get the Call of Duty, and then the DLC comes out, and then all your friends got the DLC, but then you're the one left out. Everyone paid for it. You want to play with your friends, so then that's gonna like force you to you want to play with your friends, so you're gonna buy it. It's like it's crazy. It's like you're gonna be the odd one out, not getting the DLC, and then it's like putting you in the corner type of thing. To make you pay extra, along with like peer pressure. And I don't know. It's just I don't know.
It's
and I
like
felt that way with StarCraft 2 as of recently, by the way. When I did know that there was an expansion, you guys were like, "Did you get it? Yeah, I got
You
it.
see?
Expansion?
That's
Yeah,
a
I got the expansion."
that's a live
Really?
example right there.
But
There you go.
man, so all right, even worse than a week later. Oh, here's more DLC. Wait a minute, I just bought this last week. Even worse than that. What about the ones that say, day one, this $120 package? $120 at day one so that you get the game, a season pass, and a bunch of game bullshit on the side. Game merchandise. And and then maybe a couple of guns or a map or whatever it is. But day one, you're paying for broken pieces of one game that used to be on one disc, one cartridge, and even even if it was 3 or 7 discs, you never needed anything else. But
like
now you pay full price plus 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 for pieces.
Not only that, pieces that also most of the time, not on every game, are also glitchy. I mean, so where's the quality here?
Yep.
You know, where's the quality?
Yeah, they have to patch DLC.
What the?
I
Are
mean,
you kidding?
at least those are free.
There was recently like a study where somebody compared the cost of video games, and they were looking at it on like a proportional level. Like here's how much you used to pay, here's how much you have to pay now. And the conclusion was the opposite of what I would have thought. They said that video games are actually cheaper nowadays than they used to be. If you look at it in terms of like in in terms of just time going time. So but the story probably just considered the base cost of the game. They probably just think it's $60. But what happens? I would be interested to know what if they redid that study and added the cost of DLC. If you calculated the cost of all this DLC and all this extra stuff, like if you wanted to buy every weapon in that game, every item in that game, then I will be surprised to see the results. Like what would that study have shown? They're probably way more expensive.
Of course. I mean, they can compare a freaking demo to a full game. I mean, I see games now as demos because you're not getting the full experience. You're not getting the full experience.
Oh, I know. You know what game that what was the one that was supposed to be a big deal, that most expensive game in history,
Dynasty? Which one?
the shooter that kind of recently came out, that was like it was advertised everywhere, like you could
Dynasty?
not, huh?
Oh, Destiny.
Oh, Destiny. Sorry.
Destiny, yeah, Destiny.
Oh, you kept saying
Destiny.
Destiny's not a
Des-
shooter. It's
Destiny's a perfect example of paying full price for a demo. It was a perfect example of paying full price for a demo. Perfect example of peer pressure. Too soon DLC. They're probably like the number one offenders of everything we just talked about.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree. And I'm sure the view.
All right. So basically, at the end of the day, we're paying for a game, and then being pushed into paying to win the game that we paid for, so that we don't have to play the game that we paid for. Anybody? No.
It's
Basically,
confusing.
yeah,
It's
basically,
stupid.
it's retarded. You know? Earn your weapons. Don't buy them. Don't support these developers and companies in forcing people to get exclusive weapons. If you can unlock it your damn self. All right?
I mean, you bought it. Don't you want to play
Seriously.
I mean, I feel like if you call yourself a true gamer, you wouldn't do that stuff. You'll earn your rewards or the stuff that you want, like the weapons and
Be
all
the
that stuff.
last
Earn
master. Run 1,000 miles and back. Unlock the weapons and the power shoes and power belt that gives you the ability to fucking fly a kite. I don't know, but do it and don't spend your money and support these companies that are doing this.
because they're gonna keep doing it, and you're gonna pay for it. And then one day you're gonna turn around and go, "What did I just waste $300 on?"
It's serious.
We're enabling them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to.
Because my final thoughts would be, if you make a game and we love the game and we are crying out for more and you want to give us more, that's great. If you want to charge us some more money, I understand. Game developers have kids to feed. I get that. But when we can tell that you're giving us a piece of something we already purchased, we know that you just took this away from us. It's you're not giving us anything. You're just taking away, and that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so this is an idea of what the show is gonna be. We're gonna try and touch on as many things as we can, and just kind of shed a different light that's it's being talked about here and there, but it's not really being pushed. If there isn't a push from the end of people who think like this, and you know what, before anyone says anything within this group here, there's kids and there's youngins, and we know what people play and do, and it's just you're being tricked into liking things that you wouldn't really like if you realized how they were manipulating you.
Definitely.
So,
So subscribe us on YouTube if you like what you heard. Follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. and tweet us on Twitter.
Never used it. This is gonna be funny.
We're old school.
So, let us know in the comment section what you guys think. Do you feel like you're being taken for a ride, or do you feel like we're just overreacting, or do you feel like this is just the way things are and we should just accept it, or do you get the nagging feeling that there's something you don't like going on here? What do you think?
And don't forget to check our website at www.mixedmediashow.com.
Yep.
Peace.
Welcome to Mixed Media Show. I am Shadow. I have many fucking